Okay, so in this part we're going to be making the body of the IKEA toy. I'm going to try and go through this quite quick because there's a lot of the same steps. The main part though is that it all uses the same technique. So we're going to start off by making the body, then we're going to be creating each of the sort of limbs and like the thumb, the arm, the foot, all with the same sort of technique. We're going to create a work plane, we're going to create the actual part itself, and then we're going to be extruding back to the body. Most of the things can be made using a revolve or using extrudes and then fillets. I'm going to show you both ways. I think you doing extrudes for the thumb or extrudes for the hand and a revolve for the foot is probably the easiest, and the revolve for the thumb. I'm going to have my drawing up here as I go. However, it'll be quite hard for you to actually see the sizes on your screen unless you're full screen. But if you're on your phone, I wouldn't expect you to be able to see these sizes here. So I'd suggest printing the drawing out and having a wee look at it. So we're going to start off by making the overall size of the body. You can get the size of the body here. So it's 48 by 25. So I'm going to start a new part. Start a sketch, create a circle, and for the most part I won't be using the dimension tool. I will just be typing in. It's much quicker and it's easier. I'm going to finish my sketch, extrude, and I'm going to be putting it by 25. Next part is going to be creating the circle, which is just a 6, and it goes down 8. So again, start a sketch, draw a circle, dimension it 6, finish my sketch, extrude. I'm going to use cut, but we'll call it a subtract, and that's that. I can do my fillet here just now, or I can do it later. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to create this work plane for starting the thumb or the hand. And to do that, I'm going to use an offset plane. I'm going to go over to my origin over the left hand side, and I'm just going to hover over them until I find the one that I want. I'm going to click onto that, and now you can just drag it. And if you're creating something that maybe didn't have concrete sizes, that would be fine, but it's saying here that we're going along 30. So I'm going to type in 30, and then I can start a sketch here. Going to draw a circle, and if we look at the sizes, it is a radius of 6, so it's going to be a diameter of 12. Also going to dimension this to the top by 7. So that'll mean that it's 1 millimeter down. Doesn't say that in the drawing, but I'll update that. So if you've got it printed out, it should say that it's meant to be 7 millimeters down. I'm going to finish my sketch, and this is going to be my part that's going to be going back to the body. Now, rather than doing an extrude that goes into the body like this by just dragging it and putting in another size, you can actually do 2 next. And it'll go right to the body, wrap around, and you won't have any issues with it going into any other parts. It's just a good way to do it. And if you change any sizes in the future, then it'll continue to look for that part and just go right to it. I can now hide my work plane. Don't need that for now. It'll still stay there if I want to see it. And I'm going to start a sketch and draw another circle in here at 11. Finish my sketch, and we're going to be extruding this out now. So it goes out all the way by 10, and then it says we've got a radius of 5.5 on the end. So I'm going to go extrude 10, fillet, and type in 5.5. And click OK. So that's the hand done. Now we just need to do the thumb. Now the sizes are pretty random here, so you might have to, if it doesn't look exactly like this, I wouldn't worry too much as long as you're following the steps. So I'm going to create a sketch on a work plane that is going right through it, so I can get the thumb halfway. So I'll go over to my origins, and I'm going to go to my XZ plane. Your plane might be different depending on what one you clicked at the start. Just going to click that and I'm going to start a sketch on it. I'm going to start by drawing a circle and I'm going to dimension it to 2 because it says our radius is 1 there. Double that would be 2, and I'm just going to dimension this into place. Center of the circle, side of the arm, and I'm going to dimension that by, let's go for 2.25. If you just do 2, that'll work just fine. Then want to dimension the height of it. Center of the circle, and it's not letting me click anything, so I'm just going to project my geometry just so I can actually click on something. Center of my circle, and we'll do that 1. Now I want to revolve just one of this, a quarter of this, so I'm just going to draw that in and draw this across, and I can pretty much delete everything. So I'm going to go to trim and I'm going to try and delete things, but I'll come up with an error message. So to prevent that, if I just remove my dimensions, which is totally fine to do, nothing will move about. Now I can trim things and I can revolve this. So I'm going to finish my sketch. I'm going to move my camera a wee bit just so you can see what's happening. Revolve, and I'm going to, it's already selected my profile, so I'm going to select my axis, and we've got a hovering thumb. But what we're going to do is just create a sketch on the bottom of this. Start sketch. And the camera might move about quite a lot. The way that I normally move my camera is to pan, I hold in my middle mouse button, scroll wheel, and then the top of this I just click and drag. Just going to project my geometry, finish sketch, and extrude. And same thing, we're going to go to next. And it will go right to the edge and wrap all the way around the circle. So that's the thumb pretty much done. However, if we look at the drawing, the back part of it is actually cut off. So we can do that by just creating a sketch on a work plane again. I've not actually created my work plane, let's do that first. Offset from plane. Drag this right out to the end, it doesn't matter the size for this one, and I'm going to make this visible so that we can dimension to it. Start 2D sketch. Just going to draw a random rectangle at the back, and I'm going to dimension just the front of this. And in the drawing it says it's 3 away, so I'm going to finish my sketch, extrude, cut or subtract, and 2 next. That's not what we want, so instead this time we're going to go to 2, and then this time it means we have to select the face. So if we wanted to do 2 this face, we could do that, but what we'll actually want to do is we want to go to the body, and it'll cut everything up until it gets to the body and it won't cut anymore. Can now make these invisible again, and we have this part. We will make it hollow at the end by using the shell tool. We won't do that just now. So what I'm going to do is then mirror it, so we've got 2 hands. I'm going to go to mirror. I'm going to click my features, which is all these parts. Since we've used the fillet tool, it will look a bit weird. I think I've selected the wrong thing there. Won't actually let me select the thumb for some reason. I'm going to try that again. I think it has selected the thumb, and now all we need to select is the mirror plane. And we're going to go for this one that's right in the middle, and click OK. And there we go, we've got both parts. It hasn't, however, taken over the cut that we did, so we're going to try that again. So our features, think that's it selected now. Yep, so see that blue line? That should mean that we have the subtract selected mirror plane, XY, okay, and there we go, we've got it that time. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do the feet. The feet are quite easy, but it's just about getting our work planes all set up. So this time we're going to set a work plane 12 along, then we're going to be creating the feet, and I'll show you to do that. So same thing, offset from plane, select the centerpiece, and this is 12. I'm going to start a 2D sketch onto this part, and I'm going to draw in the start and the end of this arc. You could draw this as like a full circle if you've got a center point, but I'm going to show you how to do anything with arcs. You always want to try and find the start point and the finish point, so I'm going to draw them in first. So I'm going to draw a line that's just going along, that is 7. I'm going to dimension this to be 2 away from the front. To actually click on the front, I need to use project geometry, and I'm going to move this to a place. There we go. I'll add that size to the drawing as well. And then I'm going to draw a number 7 up. If that doesn't work, typing it in, you might have to actually draw and then dimension it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then I'm going to use the arc tool, click the start, click the finish, and dimension this to 7. And that's this part. Almost done. All we need to do is revolve it. So rather than revolving it full and then trying to subtract it and add in a sketch, we're just going to do angle, going to do symmetric, and we're going to go 90. But we're going to try and go this way. So it'll be 90 this way and 90 this way. And that should get the front of the foot, and then all we need to do is do what we've done previously. Start a sketch, project geometry, finish the sketch, extrude, and click 2, and click the body. So pretty much exactly the same as what we've been doing. Remove the work plane, visibility, and then all we need to do is mirror it. Mirror, select my features, select my mirror plane, it's the same as before, and click OK. And that's this pretty much done. All we need to do now is add a shell and do a couple of other things. So I'm going to shell the bottom. So whenever you click shell and click OK, sometimes it will shell, but it doesn't actually look like it's shelled. That's because you've not actually removed any faces. So you need to double click shell, click remove face, and it will let you remove the face. You can do that all right at the start, it's just sometimes people forget. Now we've got this part, we can see right into the arm, which if you look at the drawing, we can't. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. If I just start a sketch on the bottom face, I use project geometry, and we're just going to go all the way around the outside and all the way around the inside, and just add a wee line going across, making sure that it's highlighting green when you do that. To come out of any tool, I'm just clicking escape, so rather than drawing another line, just click escape, finish sketch, extrude, and I'm just going to drag this up, and we don't want to cut it, I want to join, and I'm just going to drag this up right to the top until we can't see any part of that arm. So you can see there the arm's just disappearing, and it will automatically snap to the top, and click OK, and that's what we want. The last part we need is going to be just a small fillet on the edge here. Just going to do this as 1, click OK, and that's this part complete. So I'd have a wee go doing that yourself. It's a lot of it is just the same sort of thing, getting used to using work planes, getting used to doing revolves in random places, and then using the extrude tool to go back to the cylinder. Okay, so the next part is going to be on the head and creating a hat, which uses a lot of the similar techniques that we just went over there, but in the head we're going to be looking at doing things like a circular array.